There it is, one of the most recognisable and remarkable buildings in London. George Gilbert Scott's 1876 masterpiece, soon to reopen as a luxury hotel, what it was originally built as. And behind it, St Pancras Station, also reopening after an £800 million refurbishment. Let's go inside and see what it looks like. So this is where you'll come through to. It's called the Undercroft and it's raised up on hundreds of cast iron pillars. Back in the 19th century this would have been very dark. It would also have been very full of beer because they stored ale from Burton-on-Trent here in barrels, 28 million pints of the stuff. The columns are just far enough apart to get 3 barrels of beer lined up one next to the other. And today it leads to the Eurostar departure line. So passengers will walk through, past the registration desk, into the departure lounge itself, through the sliding doors, past the workmen. And in here, of course, you have security, just like in airports. If you try and take a metal camera through, it'll go beep. Passport control. Down on the floor, wooden flooring, apparently very quiet when you roll your suitcase over it, so it's not just an extravagance. Lots more, thousands more columns here, but it gets really spectacular when you go up onto the platforms. You do get a few glimpses from down here of this extraordinary space up above because the architects have been allowed, with the Agreement of English Heritage, to cut these voids in the old roof of the Undercroft so that you can see up into the light. Back in the old station, there were trains running across here. So up here is the pièce de résistance, a magnificent Victorian train shed opened in 1868, designed by an engineer called William Barlow. It's 100 feet high, that's something like 37 metres. It's 242 feet wide and it has been beautifully restored, repainted, the glass in the roof replaced. It's also been extended. If you look down there you can just see a flat roof. That has to be there because the Eurostar trains are immensely long, but also it covers the Midland Main Line platforms and new platforms for high-speed suburban services from Kent. Here at the end there is a wonderful, magnificent clock. That is a replica of the original clock. Below the clock, interesting feature this, is a huge statue. It's 9 metres high. It's by a sculptor called Paul Day. It's of 2 lovers meeting, greeting, departing, and it's a talking point. Down here there's going to be what's claimed to be the longest champagne bar in Europe, appropriate really in what was, when it was opened, the biggest enclosed space in Europe. All of this is just temporary, it's there for the official opening. And the man behind it all is the architect Alistair Lansley. It's a wonderful station. Now I mentioned William Barlow, the engineer, but there was somebody else involved as well, wasn't there?
There was somebody else involved, Roland Ordish no less, who'd worked on the Crystal Palace, who knew all about the delicacy of the ridge and furrow glazing that we can see above us.
Yes, because you'd expect it to be lots of flat glass panes, but it's not, is it?
It's not indeed. In fact, 11 years ago, the only light was left and right of the station, so very much light at the end of the tunnel. Now we've brought all the light in from the top. It's absolutely magnificent.
How did you choose what colour to paint it?
Painted 18 times in its history. For the first 10 years, a very gloomy red lead. And then with the emergence, the completion of the hotel, James Allport, who is the managing director of the Midland Railway Company, said, why can't it be the colour of the sky? And it surely is.
And in restoring it, you've gone back to the original drawings, haven't you?
We've found something like 130, 135 drawings, all preserved at the Kew record offices, and I'm so pleased that they had them.
Good. Alistair Lansley, thank you very much indeed. So there you have it, a 19th century masterpiece restored for 21st century use, 21st century travel. The railways in Britain never been more popular, and this now Britain's new gateway to the continent.